I'm Kimberly from Quarter Shop, and today we're taking the new jelly braid paper, a jelly roll, and making a cute, beautiful tote bag. Purchase the jelly roll braid pattern at Quarter Shop. For fabric, you will need 1 jelly roll, 3/4 of a yard for the tote bag body and handles, 5/8 yard for the bag lining. This fabric collection is sunbonded by Miso Quilty Life for Moda Fabrics. Now for notions, you need 1 package of stabilizer. We recommend soft and stable. You'll need the 9-inch jelly braid paper by Triangles on a Roll and Polypro strapping by Annie for your handles. After you've gathered all your supplies, now we can make our bag. From your 9-inch jelly braid paper, you're going to cut off a 39-inch section. And then we want you to go to the jelly braid paper tutorial on our YouTube channel, and you're going to make a braid that's 39 inches long. Once you've made that braid, you're going to trim this to 9.5 inches wide by 34 inch tall. From there, you're going to add your fabric C rectangles to each side. This is all super easy. This tutorial is mainly focusing on how to turn this braid into a bag. Your tote body should measure approximately 18 inches wide by 34 inches. You're going to put soft and stable on the back. You can put as much or as little around the edge as you want. You want to have a little bit of room for shifting when you are quilting. You're going to get all of this quilted, and now we're going to make a bag. Once you have everything quilted, we're going to trim this down to 18 inches wide by 29 inches long. Now that we've trimmed this down, we're ready for the next step. Now what we're going to do is turn this over, and on the stabilizer, we are going to draw a line 12 inches from each end. So 12 inches there, 12 inches here, and then you can kind of see this is how your bag is going to form, because this is going to be the bottom of the bag and this is going to be the sides of the bag. So that marking is just to get us started. Now once I've drawn the lines, I'm going to stitch directly on these lines, and I'm going to use a thread that's similar to what I quilted it with, because you are going to see the stitched lines in your finished bag. So I've stitched on these lines. I took my leftovers and I tested my stitch length just to get it where I wanted it. I used about a 2.5 stitch line, and you can barely see it, but the lines are there. Now I'm going to show you how to make the handles. This strip is 5 inches wide. So what you can do is just fold it in half and iron. Now I'm going to open this back up, and I'm going to fold each side in and iron. Now you're going to take your strapping piece, put it right on that crease, fold this back over, and iron again. Then you'll take this to your sewing machine and sew this opening closed. And as you're doing it, I would just go really nice and slow so that you get a straight edge. And this is what it looks like when it's sewn. Then when you get that one sewn, you will also sew the other side, so you have stitches on both sides. You're going to make 2 handles. Now we're going to attach the handles. We're going to measure 1 inch away from the seam right here. Then we're going to place our handles right up against that seam, and I'm going to leave about 1/2 inches right here, and I'm going to use Wonder Clip to put that in place. I'm going to fold this where it stays nice and even, so it's not flipped or anything funny. I'm going to place the other one here, leave about 1/2 inch off of the edge. So now I'm going to baste right here. I'm going to baste 1/8 of an inch away right from that edge, and I'm just going to go across several times and get it nice and secure. And you don't want to go beyond 1/8 of an inch, because if you do, then you might see it on your bag later. Now I have the first side done. I'm going to reverse this and add the other handles the same way. Now you're going to take your tote body fabric, which is your fabric E, put that right sides together with the front of your bag. So you're going to flip this upside down, making sure the handles go on the inside. And you're going to line up the edge of the fabric with the edge of your quilted tote bag front. You're going to stitch with a 1/4 inch seam all the way across this side and this side. I'm going to measure 1/2 inch away from the edge. That's going to be my stitching line. You're going to leave the little handle part sticking out. You're not going to cut that off. And we're going to do the same thing on each side. So this is how it looks now. These are the tops of your bag. These are the bottom of your bag. What we want to do is open this up and line up the lining and pin right here. Turn it around and line up your lining right here. And then we're going to put wonder clips all the way across. Just move your handles out of the way. And one side we're going to stitch all the way across. On the other side, we are going to make an opening that is 6 inches wide. I'm just going to make lines with my friction pin that will disappear later. So I'm going to stitch this all the way across. I'm going to back stitch at the beginning and the end. On the other side, in the lining, I'm leaving a 6 inch opening. I will stitch from one side of the opening to the other end, and then I will come back and stitch this, and this will be left open. I'm going to be using a 1/4 inch seam. Now we're going to go to all 4 corners, and we're going to draw a square 2.5 inches. Take thick scissors and cut. This is creating the gusset that will make the bag stand up. We're going to do that on all 4 corners. Now we're going to go to the iron, and on all of these side seams we're going to press this open just so that your bag will lay a little bit flatter. So when I press this open, it's really important to do the lining. It really doesn't work much if your quilting is super dense, so you just want to have the creases on both sides of your lining. From here, you can open this up. This is your box corners, and you're going to stitch a 1/4 inch away from corner to corner back stitching, and this is going to create your gusset. On the part with interfacing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up. I'm going to use wonder clips, and then I'm going to stitch with the seam on top, and when I get to the seam, I'm going to press that open so it's nice and flat. So now you will find where you have that opening, and we're going to flip this open. I would start with the lining just because it's the thinnest, and just go really slow. So when you pull this out, your stitches don't come undone, but if they do, you're going to be able to top stitch over them. Now you're going to take that opening, and you can press the seams down a 1/4 inch and just top stitch over them. So here is where I top stitch this close. You could also hand stitch it close if you're interested. And now all we're going to do is kind of play with the bag, fold out all the corners, and get it nice and even at the top. Now we're going to place the lining on the inside of the bag, and you'll want to iron this off. And I'm going to put wonder clips all the way around the top, and I'm going to try to keep it where the green is right at the top and the pink is right at the top, so there's no duck pleats here. Now you're going to go to your machine, and you're going to top stitch all the way around, making sure your handles are out here, and that's just going to do a nice stitch all the way around. You could do 2 stitches if you wanted, one a 1/4 inch away and one 1/8 inch away. You could do one a 1/4 inch away, 1/2 inch away, however you want, so that this will stay nice and secure. So now your bag is all done, and it will actually, because we did the gussets, it will stay standing up. Here's the front, here's the back. This is the Sunbonnet collection by Heather Briggs for Moda Fabrics, and now I'm going to show you some other bags. Now I'm showing you different bags made with Moda collections. This is the Gingerbread collection called Night Owl, and this is the first bag. This bag features the Brookside collection by One Canoe 2. And as you're looking at each bag, you can see the different density of quilting on each. The high density really makes your bag stiff, and the less quilting you have, it is much more flexible. This bag is made using the Parlor collection by Crystal Manning, And this one has hand quilting on the entire bag using embroidery thread. And this bag is made from the French General Collection Joie de Vivre, and you can see how this one has more top stitches at the top. And those are our beautiful bags. If you're looking for a project for National Sew a Jelly Roll Day, this bag is the perfect choice. The jelly braid paper is great for using up all of those jelly roll pieces that are in your stash. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.